Good morning from Yummy BTV TikTok. Sending loads of love to you this morning. Now, this is part one of my series of some of the most dangerous men that, not that I read about, not that I heard about, that who I met and saw and witnessed with my own eyes, right? So this part one involves a man named Nicohlas Vernage, or Vernage, right? I think he was from East London. This took place at the beginning of time, right? And he says a big build up to this and things that I kind of spotted from when he was younger. I believe that he was traumatized in some way from quite early on, not making allowances for his crimes or anything. So I'm in Aylesbury. It would have been around 82, 83, 84. I was the smallest in there at that time. And I was trying to make a neighbor, I had short little man syndrome. But I had a lot of protection there as well from some bigger guys, right, during those early days. But I always believed that I could handle anything on my own and wanted to. So he used to walk past me, Nicohlas Vernage, and always look at the corner of his eye. Very quiet man. Never really spoke to anyone. He looked really well, though. He was athletic. He wasn't bad looking, if you get what I mean. But he used to look out the corner of his eye at me. And I used to look at him, but I used to be a little bit fearful. But I think I was a bit of stubborn and a bit of a brave, too brave for my own good, right? I kept looking back. I looked back at him one day and I said, "What's wrong with you?" He started laughing and walked on. The next day, he'd done the same thing again. So my heart was beating. I was thinking, do I swing on the landing and all that? This is the school of excellence in Aylesbury for young prisoners who are aspiring to, be the baddest men that ever lived in that kind of thing, right? So I started walking towards him. I was thinking, you don't fancy this, Sammy, right? So when I got there, he walked up to me. He said, "Don't do it." He said, "You're too small for me." And just looked at me and turned around and walked off. After that, meaning was kind of cool. I don't know what it was, but he always used to say hello to me, right? The first inkling I got with Nicohlas Vernage, I was in the workshops and he was arguing with another dangerous man from Brixton, right? You could see they both had the same temperament, never really socialised with anyone else, teetering on the edge of violence all the time. You could just feel it, right? So they had the argument and then it was shower time. You only used to get one a week. The shower room was down on B Wing in Aylesbury, right? The bathhouse. Nicohlas Vernage got in there first and stripped off his clothes. And when I looked at him, he had a towel around him. This other geezer came in. It was taking too long to take off his clothes, so I think he was waiting for Vernage to strip off so that he could have the advantage. What did he do? He started walking over. "Yeah, do you want to have it now?" Thinking it's going to be some big fist fight. Vernage dropped the towel. He had pants on, and he drew out a toothbrush with red blades on it. And as soon as he got closer, he just went woof, straight down his face, cut him into me. They started rolling on the floor. The screws come. They got nicks, right? Blood everywhere. The second incident, I was talking to a man over there who was banged up. I was talking to Nicohlas Vernage over there. Like sometimes when I'm out on different associations or whatever, because the wings used to be open in Aylesbury. Now they're fenced off, but in the old days they wasn't. So Nicohlas Vernage, they were banged up, but they had a heated exchange around the lunchtime period, and it was on. Basically, they were going to have a fight, right? Waiting for the doors to open. So I'm going from one to the other. I go, just leave it. Don't. Them days you had glass sauce bottles, ketchup bottles. Now they're plastic, right? And them days you had peanut butter jars, glass, right? Now they're plastic, right? For genuine, for reasons of keeping, so you can't make weapons. Basically, that's what I'm saying. This guy's telling me over there that if Vernage comes over there, he's got a glass bottle there in his hand, in his up on his shelf, and he's gonna bring him in like that, and I'm gonna fucking kill him. That's what he's telling me, right? Vernage is telling me, "Listen, when the door opens," I said, "Listen, I'm not involved." I goes, "Look, do what you're doing, right?" So the doors are opening now. Their side is open. This part of the wing is opening now for association as well. As soon as the doors opened, Vernage come marching over to this guy's cell, right? He's come out, he's like, "Yeah, come in. He done exactly what he said he would do." Vernage has gone in there thinking, I don't know whether he had a weapon or he was thinking that he could beat him up physically. When he got in there, the geezer drew the sauce bottle and stabbed it straight there into Vernage's head. Now, a couple of years ago, I told this story on TV, but I got it the wrong way round because it was so long ago. And now my head's clear. I'll tell you the reason why I know it was this way, because I remember a lot of stuff. But this one I seem to have had a couple of different things where my head wasn't right, but it's definitely this way round, right? Facts. The geezer got nicked and got 6 years for it. Apparently, I met him years later as well. Now, after that escapade, Vernage came back, right? So I remember seeing around thing on his arm, remembering like seeing the scar there clearly, right? So forward on after Aylesbury, 86, 87, 88, bang, I'm in the vicinity of Scrubs, right? Nicked again, right? Them days. And it's come on the news that Nicohlas Vernage has allegedly committed 4 murders in the space of a week or two, a killing spree, right? Not just one particular person or like a ladies or gender or old and young, danger to everyone, right? So I was in Scrubs. I was in the holding cell waiting to go for a visit. Who comes in? E-Man, escape patches thing on, an E-Man suit. I've been in one of them, right? He walks past with about 3-4 screws, and I went, Nicohlas, and he went like this to me. He goes, "You're right, Sammy." I was surprised that he remembered me, right? And he went like, I goes, Nicohlas, what's going on, brother? Because I heard this, like I said, on the news. He goes, Sammy, there was blood. There was blood everywhere. The same 2 things that he said to me during those 2 incidents I just said there. There was blood everywhere. He was saying all that all over again to me. I just looked at him and he goes, "Yeah, there's blood everywhere. There was blood everywhere, Sam." I believe, right? I know a lot of people, they use that mental disorder thing and that, but I'm not speaking on behalf of Nicohlas Vernage for horrendous crimes, of course, because of the victims and that kind of stuff. But I do believe that Nicohlas Vernage was actually traumatized badly from childhood. Yeah, I saw, but the escalation from what I saw in Aylesbury didn't really shock me to hear what happened a few years later in that killing spree, right? Because it looked like he was going to, one of them days, if he just went bang, it would be curtains and game over for near enough everyone, right? He ended up in Broadmoor, and that was about 88, so that's 98, 2008, so that's 36 years ago. I'm hearing that Nicohlas Vernage is under the mental health act, but he's out now. And I'm not saying I'm pleased that he got a bit of freedom and all that, but in his case, I believe totally, that it was definitely a mental disorder, right? But there's many men from in the early days of Aylesbury that were dangerous then, that were in for serious crimes and that kind of stuff, right? That's right, when I saw him in Scrubs, the big round scar on his head was still there. That's why I remember that bit this morning when I started this part 1 series. But many men along the years that I met in the young places, crimes escalated as time went on, and the crimes got more extreme. And when I look back, I think a lot of young men back then were really seriously tapped. There's more now, obviously, but what I'm trying to say, I'm getting bubbled here. But yeah, when I think back, I've got another 5 or 6 that ended up to be notorious serial killers that I met from young days, all right? Sending lots of love, coming up in a minute, part 1 of my series of Most Evil Men. See you soon, TikTok.